This episode is brought to you by Roni Rent, your go-to source for premium event rentals, and Real Home Lending LLC, NMLS number 2049205, your trusted partner for all your mortgage needs.
Welcome back to the Fearless Empowered Women podcast. I am Eunice Ladipo, and as always, I'm joined by my incredible co host, Veronica Oladeji. If you are new here, this is the space where we talk about growth, entrepreneurship, and owning our power as women. Veronica, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Thank you, Eunice. I'm excited for today's conversation because we are diving into a topic that is crucial for success. It's building your inner circle and the importance of your support network. Yeah. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we discussed networking. So now we're going to delve into building that inner circle that will
Yes.
help you.
Yeah, so this is like layering on top of that for us. Like you have been fortunate enough to connect with all of these awesome people. How do we then build this group or community of champions, rainmakers, and all sorts of these lovely things that we call them? So yes, no woman is an island, and having the right people around you can make all the difference in your business, career, and personal growth. So, today, as we've already mentioned, we will be discussing why your support system matters, how to find the right people, and how to cultivate meaningful connections.
Yep, indeed. So let's start with why having a strong support network is essential. Studies have shown that women who have a solid network of mentors or of peers or of friends are more likely to achieve their goals. So, why do you think that is, Eunice?
Well, I think because we thrive in communities, like we can't be an island. I don't know anybody um, that can successfully function at the level at which we are hoping this community of people we are trying to connect with or build will be able to function alone. So when you surround yourself with people who encourage, challenge, inspire you to push yourself to be better. When you intentionally surround yourself with this group of people, it makes the journey a little easier. It's not going to be easy all the way, but it will be better. So having a support system also gives you uh, accountability, emotional support, and access to resources.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about business or career. It's about building mental and emotional well-being. So having people who really care and want to see you win can make the journey less lonely and, more fulfilling. So how do we find the right people for our inner circle?
That's a great question. That is something that we as women need to continually ask as we move along. Is how do we find the right people to build a strong inner circle? Strong is the key word here.
Yes.
We think the first step is being intentional. You know, you have to seek out relationships that align with your values and goals.
Yes. Absolutely. Join networking groups, attend industry events, put yourself in an environment where like minded people gather. And don't forget the power of online communities, LinkedIn, mastermind circles, mentorship programs can be incredibly valuable to benefit you and in person to online, right?
Absolutely. And another key is reciprocity. We are big on us, you're building your community, as you are moving along in your journey, remembering to fill the cups that you're pouring from. Don't just be a taker. We have to be intentional about giving back to where we're taking from. Most of the time, givers don't, people that love to give don't, are not really good at asking for help. So, a good way to take care of such people is, as you're taking from them, you also be intentional about giving back to them, reciprocating their help, their resources that they're being generous with. Great relationships are not just about what you can gain, but also about what you can give. Be supportive, offer value, and build trust.
I love that. I love what you said earlier, actually. I love that you said you have to be able to fill your cup once you empty it out. So don't forget to fill those cups, right? Once you give knowledge, fill it, fill it. Um, Also, don't be afraid to reach out to people you admire. Reach out, a simple message expressing appreciation or asking them for guidance can open amazing doors. Like I said in one of our chats, that people are waiting. They're waiting to share their knowledge, to impart what they know. So go ahead and ask them.
That's true. I mean, all of these things are also still connecting back to our episode 2, where we talked about um, building your connection. So now that we've talked about the things that you have to look out for as you are building your network, we're going to move on to talking about cultivating and maintaining those meaningful connections. How do you connect with the people you admire? That we've talked about, we've talked about you finding the right people, and how now, once you've found them, how do we nurture these relationships? The key is consistency. Stay in touch. I know Veronica mentioned that on episode 2. Staying in touch is important. It feels like whatever you're built, you need to keep. It's better than having to go strive for a new one. So stay in touch, keep checking on people, and be genuinely engaged in their success. Celebrate their successes, connect with them, share your journey with them. Just keep those relationships going once you realize
Yeah,
them.
I want to say that staying in touch is crucial. So it's not just when you need something that you find a way to reach out. But I say one of the tips I do is I try to stay connected with people throughout. So if it's their birthday, I'll send them a birthday message. If it's a holiday, I say, hey, happy holidays, just checking in on you. But even if you were just to check in on these contacts throughout the entire American holiday, all the holidays that we have throughout the year. That's 11 touch points in a year with all the holidays. And then you add the birthdays and you add the other stuff. But I think, just setting those touch points and finding a way to stay connected so that when you actually need something, that's not the first time that you're reaching out, right? So celebrate their wins, support their projects, and show up for them. So show up in a way that keeps you consistent. It's about building long term, meaningful connections. Okay.
Yeah, I have to mention that you're quite good about staying connected. Oh, I don't know. I feel okay. So this is I can only talk about my relationship with you because I don't see how you, how you relate with other people. But I can say that I have actually learned a lot from our friendship because the way that I pay attention to things a lot, the good and the bad also. So if someone is bad around me, I notice and I'm not going to overlook it. One great thing about you is you will check in, hello, Eunice, da 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 da. Sometimes you call. That I wasn't really good at doing that. I'm just starting to be intentional about my people. Not everybody, the people that I feel are now in my community that I'm beginning to build. I want to be there for them as much as I'm hoping that they'll be there for me. And so learning how to reach out, call, no matter how busy, just even if it's just a text message, hello, how are you? That's that it goes a long way when you receive that from somebody that you also feel that you like. That's
Yeah, it's definitely a great way to stay connected. Either text message, email, phone call. It's all a part of it. So it's good practice.
right. And also, let's not forget letting go of toxic relationships.
Tell them, Eunice. Tell them.
Yeah, this may be a hard one because sometimes those are relationships that we care about. We do care about. But you know what? Sometimes it is beneficial to us and to people like that to let go. And it may not be let go forever, it may be just let go for a minute for mutual growth, and then we come back together when the roads align again, you know. And I think sometimes I feel reluctant to use that word toxic because it is not that they are poisonous for your soul. It may just be that right now, where you are in your journey, whatever that relationship is given, that's a Gen Z word, it's given.
Honey,
Whatever.
it's toxic.
You have been arguing around a lot of Gen Z. Okay. So whatever the relationship is given isn't just aligning with where you are right now and the energy that you need in at presently. We will always come back because we're always all growing and getting better. So we can always come back, and still be there for one another, each other later, but focusing on your goals and who is truly beneficial. Not beneficial in the sense of just taking from somebody, but alignment, you know, someone that aligns with your current journey.
Yeah. And I think that's what you mean when you say toxic, though, because if someone's draining your energy, it's not doing you any good. It's draining of your time. It's draining of, all your expertise and your wisdom, and you're left depleted. It's toxic. uh,
Yeah, that's right. It is toxic,
you
and
know,
there is some kind of distance in that sense.
yeah, we're grown folks. If something is bad for you and wasting your energy and it's constantly doing negative harm to what you would put to your positive space, then just find a way to get out of that space. The right inner circle will uplift and empower you. Choose people who believe in you, challenge you, and bring out the best in you. So if there's people around you draining you and they're wasting your time and they're negative when you're trying to create some positive energy, whew, that's toxic energy.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, toxic is toxic. I came across a reel on Instagram about a week or so ago, and the guy was talking about if if somebody drops poison into your cup by mistake, is that okay? They did it. They didn't mean to do it. It happened by accidentally, but you can still die from it, right? So it is bad. But
Yeah. How would they how would they drop poison into your cup accidentally?
so the reason I think the analogy is around being toxic with
Yeah.
people. That's pretty much what's happening to you. Somebody is poisoning your spirit or draining your energy or anything, taking away from your growth.
Yeah. But I don't think they're doing it accidentally. I think they know what they're doing.
I
But
think in some cases they may not mean harm, as in they're intentionally saying, "I'm doing this to hurt you," but it
right,
doesn't take away from the level of hurt that you're getting from such relationships. Though that's what it.
right,
Like,
right.
they didn't wake up to say, you know what, ha, I am just going to destroy the. No, that's not. I don't think that's the intention.
Yeah, I get that, but there's a if once bitten, twice shy kind of sentiment. I mean, it's okay if it's done once, but if it's done a second time and you start feeling like this person keeps doing this, well, that person who keeps feeding or keeps providing that poison knows at that point that they are providing or that they are squeezing poison into your juice. Right. So if they do it the first time and they feel like, oh, let's do it because I feel like this is my kind of thing. Right. And they squeeze it once, it's all right because you see it and you're like, okay, I can handle this. But if they continue to kind of drip drop some poison every other day to see how you respond, that becomes an actual them knowing that they're doing it.
Because
A- And I mean, after you do it so many times, you can only forgive someone so many times. Well, I'm not Jesus. What would Jesus do? Right? You can only forgive them so many times before you have to think, okay, let's be wise about our decision and the people who surround us. And does it really make sense for me to keep allowing this to happen? To be drained of this? Is there something that I need to learn? If that person is a strong-willed person and they feel that eventually they can impact the life of the poison and change it to sweet berries, since we're talking about poison and we're talking in metaphors, then by all means let them explore the challenge of trying to get that other person to be better. But it may be at an expense of themselves losing their identity. It may be at the expense of them also losing the positivity that they once had. It may be at the expense of them losing the light and joining the darkness, right? So it's important to know your circle and know the people around you and know who's encouraging you and know what your goals are. Because if you're continuously being dragged down and you had a goal of doing something this year, but someone just keeps pulling you away from that goal, pulling you away from your challenge, telling you that you can't do this, you can't achieve this, you're wasting your time. There's only so much that you can hear. And I would be telling that person, if someone keeps telling you you can't do it and they don't have any faith in you, you don't need to be around them. Okay. You need to be around people who can uplift you and tell you, yeah, you can do this. You just need to find a way to do it. um, you know, there's some people who you tell something to and they'll say, oh, you can't do this. And it may make them reverse psychology, right? Reverse psychology may make them push harder. But in most instances, we're going deep now, aren't we, Eunice? But in most instances, negative energy, we don't need it around us, man. We need people who are going to uplift us or help us across and let us do our thing or leave us alone and let's find our own way. But I'm the person, man, I don't need all that negative energy. Tell me once I can't do it, I'll tell you, yes, I can, and I'll leave the room and show you later and invite you back into my space and say, ah,
with you, I'm at that point now where also, like you said, I don't have the energy. This is something that I'm going to share at some point on the podcast with our lovely people. my experience in 2022, my medical event. And I think, you know, Oprah, my lovely Oprah, said,
Mama, oh,
yes, this is one thing that I have taken away from our wealth of knowledge is that when you have some unusual experiences in life, you have to sit and ask the universe, what is this experience here to teach me? And I think from that experience, I feel that it made me take a pause and take account of all the people I have around me because at that point, my energy was so low that it was easy to figure out the things that were hard. Normally, I can go past them and pedal past them and everything, but I was having some experiences that kept coming at me, not even taking account of where I was health wise in that season of my life. And for me, I'm like, you don't even have grace for this period. Ha.
yeah. I respect all that you've been through. I know everything, and I respect that all that you've been through, and you are a strong woman, and grace is definitely the word, right? We all need grace, and when we're going through stuff, we need people to help us, or people not we don't need poison. We certainly don't need poison. We need flowers around us to help us bloom too, or we need bright lights around us to help us navigate and find our path. But we certainly don't need poison, and we don't need anything smelling bad in our space. So, um, yeah, I think as we talk about inner space, we just need to be intentional, like we said, be intentional, be direct, and think about it. Ask yourself now and ask, what do we have a challenge for this week? I think we have a challenge for this week, don't we?
To that. So this has been such a powerful conversation, ladies and gents, because I know we're having some.
Yes.
So we wanted to take a moment today to evaluate your inner circle. That's our takeaway that we want for the people today. The people around you pushing you forward or holding you back? Take a stock. Evaluate.
Yes.
Look around you. Who do I have here? You may have a couple that you are holding up, but it can't be everybody in your circle that you have to hold up and be strong for. You need to have people that have been strong for you and holding you
Yeah.
up as well. So take stock.
Yeah. So, as usual, we want to definitely hear from you. So, we want to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts. One way that you're building your support network and your inner circle. So, share with us on Instagram at Fearless Women Pod, or send us an email to what's our email address? Send us an email to the link below, which is podcastfew@gmail.com.
So, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
Yes.
We will see you next time for another empowering episode. Veronica, do you have a challenge for our people outside of them taking stock of their
I like that challenge. That challenge is simply look at your inner circle and say, who do I have in my inner circle? How can I make my circle stronger? And if I have poison around me, how am I going to filter out that poisonous thing, right? And so I think we need to assess and look at and see how we can make our circle stronger and better for sure. So let's do that.
and I like that you mentioned that we need to look inward also and see, am I the kind of person that is lifting people up or pulling them down? It might be your
Yes.
casual comments or your funny jokes that's pulling people down.
Yes. I
Yes,
do like.
nonetheless, if it's pulling people down, it is pulling people down. We need to change. We want to be the kind of people that lift people up, that lift things up, not crush them.
Yes, indeed. So well said. Take a look in the mirror and say, who are you? What would you want to be? What would you like to be? How would you like to improve? And take steps to do it. I love that.
Fearless and empowered.
Thank you for tuning in to the Fearless Empowered Women podcast. We hope you found it insightful in your growth and empowerment journey. Connect with us on Instagram at Fearless Women Pod, or send us an email to podcastview@gmail.com to share your views. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We look forward to connecting with you soon.